The United Nations Security Council has endorsed President Biden's plan to end the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza after a 14-0 vote, with Russia abstaining. U.S. Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield said the Security Council is sending a clear message to Hamas.
Today, this council sent a clear message to Hamas. Accept the ceasefire deal on the table. Israel has already agreed to this deal, and the fighting could stop today if Hamas would do the same. I repeat, the fighting could stop today. Colleagues, today we voted for peace.
The plan sets out 3 phases, starting with a 6-week ceasefire in which Hamas releases some hostages and Israel releases Palestinian prisoners. Today, Hamas accepted the UN Security Council ceasefire resolution, saying it is ready to negotiate over the details, according to a senior Hamas official. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who is in Tel Aviv to help broker a deal, called this a hopeful sign. The Biden administration also says Israel already accepted the deal. But questions and contradictory statements remain, as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has publicly disputed key aspects of the deal, saying Israel will not end the war without destroying Hamas and achieving the return of all of the hostages. Hamas, too, supports the broad outline of the agreement, but has demanded assurances that it will actually be implemented. In the meantime, nothing has changed on the ground, with one of Israel's worst attacks killing at least 274 Palestinians just days ago during the rescue of 4 hostages from a Gaza refugee camp. And joining me now is Daniel Levy, president of the U.S. Middle East Project. He served as an Israeli negotiator under Prime Ministers Yitzhak Rabin and Ehud Barak during the Israel-Palestine peace talks. It is great to talk with you, Daniel, and hopefully you can help me because I am completely confused. I have read, I can't tell you how many stories and been in and out of a wormhole trying to figure out who has agreed to this deal. Do you know?
You are in good company, Joy. This is difficult to pick one's way through, but the easiest way to get into it is to understand that we have been stuck for months around one Gordian knot, which is, are we going to have a brief pause followed by further war, destruction, death? Or is this the on-ramp to a permanent cessation? What President Biden seemed to be doing in that May 31 speech was to lean into the idea, finally, that this is a permanent cessation. But what happened subsequent to that, Joy, is that the Israeli Prime Minister made clear that the war would continue. He said that in initial tweets. He said that to his parliament. He said that to his war cabinet. And in fact, the guy who's not been great in general, but has supported a deal, Gantz, who was a minister in the war cabinet, he quit the war cabinet. Prime Minister Netanyahu's coalition allies, members of his own Likud party in the cabinet, in parliament, have all said unequivocally, this will not stop. And the bizarre piece here is that the U.S. administration, and we just heard the UN ambassador, and we heard Secretary of State Blinken, has adhered to this line which says everything's okay on the Israeli side. Now, there's lots of room for constructive ambiguity, Joy. You need that sometimes in diplomacy.
Yeah.
But when it's so transparent that that's not the case, it begins to look like duplicity, and no one is buying it, and we're not close to a deal, which is really sad.
Yeah, and the thing is that I mean, Hamas keeps releasing statements saying, yeah, we'll take it. Yes, we'll take it. Yes, we accept. And then you had, Antony Blinken, including in speaking with our friend Andrea Mitchell, insisted to her that Israel did accept it and Hamas needs to. And then Hamas comes out again and says, we'll take it. I don't understand why it is so insistent, why the U.S. is so insistent on saying Hamas needs to accept it when they keep saying, OK, we will take it.
Well, and this is, I think, sometimes hard for people to absorb. Hamas is asking for assurances that there is credibility, there is maximal plausibility that this is going to a full ceasefire. They can't get ironclad, but they want maximum assurances. The Israeli side is giving maximum assurances that this won't happen. And the US is playing make-believe. Now, does the administration think that if they can just get Hamas to accept the Israeli version, then maybe this starts and they can try and lock Israel in? I think that's that's make-believe. I think that's what wishful thinking, which is dangerous because there's no sign, and there hasn't been for months, that that would be the case. And where does it come from, therefore? You know, does the administration folks live in a sealed room where they're not hearing what's going on? I don't think so. I think what's going on is the administration is not willing to use the leverage that it has with Israel, which could impact Netanyahu's calculation. Right now, he has a domestic coalition problem if he goes for the deal. And on the other side, he has an administration which consistently rolls over. If the administration no longer rolls over, it's game on. But the administration is not willing to do that, and therefore it leads us down this path of, sad to say, dishonesty.
And where do you think it will leave us when Netanyahu comes and gets the honor of addressing our Congress? He's facing arrest warrants from the ICJ as a potential war criminal, yet he's invited here to give this speech. What does that do for our leverage?
Yeah, well, what does that do for the entire reputation of the U.S.? I mean, look, of course, for the hostages, because we saw 4 come out, we saw horrendous scenes around that. Most, and the Israeli army acknowledges this, that's not going to make it easier to get people out. We see the conditions in which Palestinians still mass civilian killing events. So there's that on the ground. But what has made this easier for Prime Minister Netanyahu to continue on this path is that he has that invitation in his pocket. He has a date, an invitation issued by not only the Republican, but also the Democrat leadership. And how, America has really lost so much credibility, and this will only make things worse, I'm afraid.
Daniel Levy, it is always a pleasure to speak with you, even if you're not bringing good news. I appreciate you. Thank you.
I apologize.
That's all good. Thank you so much. And coming up, in the dystopian world that we live in, as you just heard, it's all dystopian, an appeals court ruled that a grant program, get this, a grant program for Black business owners is discriminatory and violates the Civil Rights Act of 1866, a law that was passed to protect formerly enslaved Black Americans. You cannot make it up. Stay with us.